Ladies and gents, welcome back to another episode of Tactical Harmony. And today marks a first in our show because I am bringing on our very first medical professional. And this amazing human and woman has become a friend of mine over the last year. And I am so very honored and proud to introduce Dr. Marianne Pinkston Mueller. Dr. Pinkston is an integrative medicine and family practice physician with over 25 years of experience serving patients in San Antonio, Texas. She has personally treated more than 40,000 patients and logged over 11,000 hours of teaching as an adjunct professor across multiple institutions. Dr. Pinkston is the co founder and chief medical officer of New Bloom Weight Loss Centers and the host of The Better Life with Dr. Pinkston, a nationally and internationally streamed podcast with over 20,000 subscribers through Salem Media and SiriusXM's Healthy Choices Network. She has served as medical director for multiple clinics, held leadership roles with organizations including the Arthritis Foundation and Texas Kidney Foundation, and has repeatedly been voted best doctor and most compassionate doctor by patients and peers. Which, y'all, I'm not even mildly surprised because once you hear her talk, you will know why. And beyond her professional achievements, Dr. Pinkston is a proud mama of three and has an extraordinary personal health journey. She has lost over 180 pounds and has overcome diabetes, autoimmune disease, cancer, and rheumatoid arthritis. She now leads the Better Life TV YouTube network and continues her mission of helping people reclaim their health, leadership, and quality of life. Whew! Dr. Pinkston, welcome to Tactical Harmony Show.
Thank you, which we carry on the Better Life TV. You are there. So join in, everybody, and support Rebecca here. It's wonderful. Love having you.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Pinkston. It's a true honor. And I love your podcast. I love your message. I love everything that you do for this world. And goodness, there are so many questions that I want to ask. But I think for our audience, we would love to start off by asking you, how did you get into medicine?
How I got into medicine. Medicine is something that I always wanted to do. My mom and parents remember me looking at, well, I'm old, so I'm going to date myself a little bit here, looking at encyclopedias, of the human body and physiology and asking questions. And so it was always there. My grandfather wanted to be a medical doctor. And so he was my hero. I just was interested. So it was always there. Of course, I wanted to be a flight attendant and a fashion designer or princess or something at one point, but even an astronaut even at one point. But medicine was always my first love. Absolutely. So I
Well,
went to
that's
medical school and did. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. If you want to ask how I got where I am, I went to medical school in San Antonio, and I, was accepted there and fell in love with San Antonio, got some great positions and whatnot, stayed there after living in Lubbock, Texas my whole life. And so that was another move and jump. And that's how we've come to be 25 years later.
wow, absolutely incredible. And you've held so many leadership roles and so many clinics. And can you kind of walk us through how you were able to do that beyond when after you graduated medical school? I mean, you took it and ran with it. How did you do that?
Wow, that's a great question because I think the honest answer is I don't really know. When you have that in your blood, you kind of don't say no to people. And, you just want to help and do things and take care of things. And people ask you to do something you're like, sure, yeah, heck yeah, I'll give it a try. And I think it just snowballed. I got some fantastic opportunities. And I think my idea was I'll just go into family medicine and try to work for someone and have my children do part time, kind of make it mine. When there was an issue in San Antonio about the time I graduated from medical school or graduated from residency, where a lot of physicians were out of work. They already were credentialed with insurances and had their panels of patients. And so they got all those jobs. They're easy. I mean, they're ready to go, right? Me, you have to spend 6 months credentialing me for insurances to start accepting patients. So, it's a 6 month trial and error just to try to build me up. So I'm a little expensive in the beginning, where these other physicians are ready to go and they make money right away. So my now ex-husband friend said, "Let's just open our own practice, go into solo practice." I was very intimidated by that. I wasn't sure I could do run a business, but I had help. So we did it. And after that, I think I got a lot more comfortable understanding that I could do it. I really could do it, and was encouraged. And I found that, generally patients and people like me offered me, good places to work. And I think I just dropped the fear act and just said, you know what, you have one life. Let's just live it. And if you're not doing well at it, somebody will either guide you and get you there, or you'll learn the hard way. It's okay. Just jump in and go. And I think it, like I say, it just snowballed from there. And it got in my blood then, got addicted.
I love that. It got in your blood. And there's one thing that you stated that I definitely want to underscore, and that's you felt the fear, you felt the intimidation, yet you moved anyways. And that's something that here in our community that we really double down on, is that fear is natural. You're
It is.
gonna feel a little scared. You're gonna feel a little hesitant. That's your body and your mind trying to keep you safe, but you feel it, you hold hands with it, you redefine your relationship, and you move forward anyways. And look at your amazing success. Despite the fear, you use that as a signal, time to level up, time to get better, and look at the amazing success over the years that you've had and currently hold.
Thank you. It's funny, as you were reading the bio, I'm kind of surprised. I'm like, is that me? Really? It sounds pretty wonderful, and I humbly brag that, yeah, it is you, Marianne. And but I really want to highlight that it was not without mistakes. It was not without fear. It was not without, tripping over my own feet from time to time. But I think what is great is that I had a lot of people that were ahead of me that were great examples. So I just tried to learn and listen. I think keeping your ears open and watching good people and listening to what they say, because they've done it. So take that and listen. Don't try to reinvent the wheel and do it on your own every single time. Listen and follow in those footsteps, and then reach out for support. All of those people who came before you who did this started somewhere, right? They were in their beginning of their career somewhere. And so, you reach out to them. It's okay to say, look, I've got this situation. I'm not really sure how to handle it. What's the best way to handle it? And I think most of the time people really respect and admire you when you say, I don't know, or I'm not sure, or I need help. I do. That's how I feel when somebody approaches me like that. I'm like, "Oh, sure, I'll walk with you. I'm honored, honestly. Right. So, yeah, I think that support and all is very important.
Yeah, it is huge. And the power of relationships and kindness and that proximity to people that have done it before you is there for a reason. Ask for help. And I know personally I've struggled with that in the past, is, oh well, I don't want to bother them, they're probably so busy, when really they'd be mad at you if they knew that you needed help and you were refusing to ask, or you just were a little bit hesitant.
Yeah, and I think our ego gets in the way some too, right? I think we think, "Oh, I'm gonna look stupid," or, "I'm trying to get into a leadership position, so I need to be a leader. I can't say I don't know and look like I don't know what I'm doing." But honestly, I really feel the room settles down and relaxes and is more with you if you say, "You know what? I don't know the answer to that, but I'm going to find out and we're going to fix it, right?" And so that's the confidence that you carry behind the words "I don't know." It's just a confidence, and you let people know that, hey, I'm going to take control of this, and I'm there for you, and we're going to do this together, and even accepting people's feedback, right? So you've got a room full of people or an organization of people are looking to you Sometimes they're intimidated. They don't want to tell you that they don't like or what is happening, or they wish you would do something a little different. Be open to that too, because you're all growing together. And I think people will support you more and respect you more when you can do that. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I love how you phrase that, and I'm totally gonna steal it, and I promise that I will give you credit. The confidence behind "I don't know."
Right.
The
Right.
confidence behind "I don't know," because the strongest leaders, the most effective professionals and humans that I know have that confidence and self-awareness that they don't know everything.
Absolutely.
Nobody does. And when
Right.
I don't know the answer, I will say that, but I will do my darndest to go find the answer. And I will talk to somebody else. I will read the book, research whatever I need to in search of that answer. But saying "I don't know" is perfectly acceptable.
Absolutely, it is. And do that with patience. So, carry a leadership role just with patience. And I know they respect it a lot more when I'm like, I don't have the answer to that, but I'm going to find it for you. So be comfortable. We're going to get this taken care of. I am going to see to that for you. And that's that confidence underneath that you give them. And I wish I could, give credit to whoever I heard that from, but it's like, you know, you just give that to people. It's a gift, and it's a you hope that they receive it well. And I will tell you, 99.9% of the time they do. They receive that very well.
Yeah, I know I would if I had a doctor that said, "Hey, Rebecca, we're gonna figure this out. I don't know right now, but we will get there. Me and you, we are a team. We are in this together." I would feel
Yes,
so supported and seen. So I
yes.
love that. Switching gears a bit, Dr. Pinkston, I would love to know, how did you get into the podcast world?
My goodness. That is another good question. So, this is actually an interesting story. I'll try to shorten it up, but I ran a med spa. So, I had a medical practice, and then it was getting, med spas were becoming a little bit more popular. Now there's two on every corner as opposed to, one every couple miles. But I did that initially and did real well with it. And I had a woman who was lived in the neighborhood where the med spa was, and she was a part of Alpha Media, which runs many different radio stations across the nation. And she was a representative for advertising, right? So she was looking for advertisers. Stopped by the clinic. Hey, I invited her into the office and we talked, and she was trying to get me to advertise. After about 2 hours of talking, she said, "You need a radio show." And I just looked at her like, "Are you kidding me? Uh, how could I? I've never even been on radio or TV or anything. How could I possibly do that?" So I thought she was kidding. 2 days later, she shows up with a contract, said, "Would you like to sign this? Let's do it." Okay, well, sure, let's give it a try. That was another one of those fear-based things. I'd never done media of any kind, and so that was a big step to really take off and do that. Now, radio became it's not obsolete certainly, but now there's more about streaming and all. And now the podcast world just got started about that time, and they suggested that I add that on and try it. So I did. I was only on SoundCloud for a little while. After some, life crises and whatnot, and we might talk about this too, losing everything and then coming back from it. But after that, I did lose the show, but I had a very great friend in town who knew me very well from doing it previously, and moved me over to a different Salem Media now, and moved me over to there and just kind of helped me get restarted. I dropped radio and went strictly podcast, but that's kind of the long short version. It
The long short
was
version, I love it. No, that's incredible. I love hearing people's journeys and stories, because sometimes you can predict what they may say. Sometimes you have no idea where they came from, how they persevered, all of the struggles, the valleys, the peaks, and everything in between. And I just love that serendipitous moment that you experienced. And I agree with the person that saw that in you. Your voice, your enthusiasm, your knowledge and intelligence. The world needs to hear it. So, The Better Life, Dr. Pinkston, make sure that you go check it out. And that beautifully leads me to my next question. You have worn and do wear so many hats. You're running clinics, you have a podcast, you've done so many things. Can you share with us what kind of mindset is required to be able to wear all of these hats and do all of these really, really big, intense things?
This is a great question. So you're really gonna ask me to look in here because I've really thought about that. And I do think that there are just some of us who find a little bit of safety in survival, constant survival mode. You know, I let me quantify that. And had a tumultuous childhood, had a lot of things going on, had to play survivor, had to take care of myself and do things on my own, and also met with a lot of people that I really wanted approval from. And so I've always, I guess, sought to just keep going. And the mindset of just do it, keep going, don't be afraid. You can't live your whole life in the past of, bad things that happen. So look for the good. But then again, also just wanting to please people and make people happy and make sure that people get what they need. And probably to an absolute fault. I Beyond that, I think too that I have watched some great people do some great things, and I just don't wanna miss out. I can sit back and just do 1 or 2 things, probably should, but look at how much I would have missed out on at this point, and I think that many times my own energy, like, moving and changing over time and staying open to better things and making a better life for myself has essentially dropped some things in my lap, literally, like the radio show, the medical, opening my own medical practice, or, my teaching positions, or even my about, I was accepted in the NASA space program at one point, and, even that kinda dropped in my lap, but I think it was all centered around me learning how to stay open to positive, things and allowing that, and receiving it. I do think that some of us, with our histories of difficult, tumultuous lives or whatnot, do get a little addicted to survival mode, and it can go a little too far, and I'm pretty tired. I don't wanna burn out. That's the thing when you're working with people and you're doing good things in the world, you can burn out a little quick. So it's been a lesson in balance, and I'm still learning. I will get that, I will get that one day, perfected, I hope. But I do think that there's a level of balance to it. So I hope that answers it. It's a kind of a long-winded, but it's so many different aspects, so many different
Mm.
things lead to that. But yeah, it's that's a great question.
Wow. Yeah, we're going deep here, guys. We're going deep. And yeah, I mean, I love how you said, Dr. Ping, Dr. Pinkston, the capacity. Like it's holding the capacity to receive. And I truly believe that, God, the universe source rewards those and helps those who help themselves. And so it's having that, in law enforcement we call it, operational readiness, and having that level of preparedness, and you are putting yourself out there, and by virtue of you doing that, opportunities are meeting you where you are, and then you're
Absolutely.
trying different things and then new opportunities, and if you stand still, you collect dust. Right, like
Really
we have to grow and progress, and then that's when you meet wonderful people. That's how we met. And so it's such a beautiful journey when you look back, hindsight's 2020, but you've done so much for yourself and your family and your own personal transformation, and look at all of the beauty that you attracted, that you deserve, that you earned. I think that's such a beautiful lesson for everyone listening.
there's 2 thoughts I have with it though that I think are important for people, and one is learning to trust that future. Learning to trust that good things will come to you, and to be open to it. And it's so hard to do when things are going absolutely wrong. I had about 7 to 8 years of every single thing you can ever imagine go wrong and pull me backwards to a point where I felt endangered in the world. It was terrible. But I had at some point to understand I needed to persist and just trust there was a reason for it, and trust that if I just stayed true to me, that it would come and open for it. And I think the other thing with it is too that the on the receiving end, I think sometimes we work a lot with our ego and our self-confidence about what we deserve and don't deserve. And people who have been through difficult pasts sometimes feel that they're getting the wrong things, given to them, the bad things given to them because somehow they deserve it. And I know I felt that way from time to time, and I think that there was a point where I finally decided, you know what? I deserve better. I deserve better for me. I deserve better for my children. I deserve better for my patients. I mean, everything is guided, me to understand that I deserve better. And once I wrapped my arms around that, then came the whole new life that has opened up to me in like basically the past 3 years, just brand new life. And at some point, I still fight with myself thinking, "Do I really deserve all this good?" The other shoe's gonna drop, something bad is gonna happen because it happens so things happen so bad for so long. But I think, again, it backs up into trust and faith that, I deserve better, it's going to be better. Let it come, Marianne. Just sit back and let it flow. Let it come. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. That was so personal. And I, in my own journey, have felt that and experienced it, and it's the worthiness to receive. Well, who am
Right.
I as a podcast host? My background's as an NCIS agent and federal law enforcement. Who am I to dabble in this entrepreneurship? It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. No, those little voices are natural. But Rebecca, Dr. Pinkston, you are worthy to receive. You deserve this. And
Yes.
so I think it's for me, it's the old default program is so powerful, it wants to take over, and it's the journey of just quieting that voice, not giving it power, not giving it juice, and just focusing on the journey ahead, and that is that requires a lot,
It
but
does.
it's worth it, y'all, it's worth it. So,
Yes,
okay,
it is.
um Dr. Pinkston. All right. You clearly, again, have done so much. You've had so much personal and professional transformation and success. And I'm going to call you an energizer bunny, which is a compliment. So, how do you do it? Is there a habit? Is there a practice that you do? Is there something behind the scenes that you don't mind sharing with us that allows you to be able to earn and hold this level of success and work?
Well, first of all, please call me Marianne. Dr. Grease is beautiful. Thank you. I am Marianne to you, please. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. I think this is probably one of the most important lessons that I've learned, honestly, because I will freely admit I truly overdo it. And it has affected my health. I do believe that's what caused the weight and the rheumatoid arthritis and all of those things. So this lesson of balance has been extremely important to me to try to spare my health. I want to be here for my husband. I want to be here for my children. Be here for my patients and what I'm doing. So I needed to learn to take care of myself. And so the things that I have learned to do is basically on our message of the faith and trust and receiving. I felt it extremely hokey and weird to sit down and try to meditate or do these things, but I find a gratitude. I've heard people talk about mindset and soul work like that. And you don't have to meditate, maybe just pray, whatever it is you do and what believe in. But I found once that I met somebody who actually explained it to me in a fashion where I understood that it's all about calming that sympathetic nervous system that causes the fight or flight and the constant stress and the go, 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 which works against your health, that is what it's for. And then the practice of the gratitude and journaling and all of those things is about accepting having that faith and that trust and accepting those blessings and manifesting it because we do whatever we put out there we receive and learning how to do that. One of the greatest things that I have ever done is to go outside get up in the early morning because this is what the greats do. So Tony Robbins or the John Maxwells or, the thinker Albert Einstein or, whoever. What they do that's so wonderful, Stephen Covey, you think people like that, what they do is they get up extremely early and they do a round of journaling and gratitude and writing, but they read other great people's works and and then pray, meditate and things like that, and they do that in the early morning to set themselves. And the way that I did it was to go out and sit and get early morning sunlight. So in the early morning, about a little while before the sun comes up and about 10 minutes after it comes up, it's in the red spectrum, infrared spectrum, and that has a fantastic work on our cortisol adrenal system, our stress hormone system, and it hits a reset button. You sleep better, you're more energized, and you think better in the morning, and then you get into a pattern of waking up early, and so it helps you exercise better. I mean, think better, feel everything. So those are some of the things that I have just learned to finally incorporate in to settle down that fight or flight stress system, because I think that was the thing that got me the hardest was just, yeah, I can do many things and I can wear many hats and whatnot, but I'm really going to run myself into a wall. And I did. So it was just a matter of learning, take care, put my mask on first on the airplane, right? Then put the mask on other people, take care of me, and then choose what is priority. I think priorities are big. You can't say yes to everything. Learning how to have boundaries and say no. And it's okay. You can tell people you can tell people nicely, I would love to do this for you and maybe in the future, but right now I'm sorry. I just can't. And then don't feel guilty about it. You know, take care if you don't turn that on yourself because that works the same way as the stress, right? So I
Yeah.
think that is the list of things that I have learned to do finally at 56 years old. Oh my goodness. Took a while.
It is
Took me
so important. Oh gosh, a regulated nervous system
absolutely.
is
Yeah.
everything. And it should be of no surprise to you that I also have difficulty with that. When you are a high performer and you just go, 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 and there's always something to do, and you do have a lot of capacity and energy, and you can be extremely healthy and do all the things. But if you're not feeding yourself, nurturing your mind, your body, your spirit, and making sure, like you said, the balance, the harmony of all of it,
Yes.
eventually you're going to burn out or it's going to affect you either physically or mentally. It will manifest in some way. And one of
Absolutely.
the goals for our show is we do the hard things now. We set the foundation so we don't have to have some catastrophic or big, big adversity in our lives to then have that, okay, knocking on your door, you got to calm down, you got to take a beat. We don't have to wait for that moment,
Exactly.
and being able to incorporate all the amazing things that you just shared with us are the ways, are the strategies, and the tactics that we can prevent that,
Right.
take care of ourselves, and it actually increases our capacity to receive and to do more. When I'm given to myself, I feel better and I'm able to give to you more and to others. And it's such a beautiful, I don't know, application. It's such a beautiful journey of all of it.
Yeah, it is. And I said what you do is just follow what did the other people who have walked this walk do, right? So if that is something that you're looking to other people for examples of, that's what they do. So do what they do. They
Yeah.
came first. They learned the hard way. So just listen and do what they do, and then you might skip yourself. It's kinda what your parents do to you, right? It's like, "Look, I went to high school and college once too. I can tell you, don't do it this way," but of course, we have to go do it the hard way, right? So, just listen and let people tell you how they did it, and then follow that. It's very fruitful to go that direction.
Yes, very, very fruitful indeed. Okay, so we're coming up on time, and so my last question for you is, if you could leave the audience with one piece of advice as it pertains to leadership or mindset or performance, what would that one big takeaway or message be?
Yeah, that is fantastic. Gosh, there's so many, and we've mentioned a lot, which is great. But again, I think I will just go back and reiterate the self care feature. And I think I can relate it back to maybe I know there are men who listen and that's great, but I think women take on a little bit different role because there's so many have to, and men have to, but I mean, when you're doing the children and taking care of the family and you're doing your personal life, plus you're on top of a professional life and trying to handle both, it is exceedingly difficult. And I do feel that we are out there for each other and that we take on too much alone and try to be tough and solid, and we put up our defense and our barriers when really that is an example of a boundary, but what your boundary should be is in the self-care side of things and in the vulnerable side of things. It's okay to be vulnerable, it's okay to make mistakes, it's okay to be afraid, it's okay to ask for help. Those are all the things that we fear so much, especially as women, because we're just supposed to be super and take care of it all, and we do until we crash. And so I think again, I'll just stay in that line of the self-care role and just make sure that you do set yourself first. Because as you said very eloquently, when you take care of you, there is way more capacity to take care of others and do those things that you want to do. The last thing I guess is just do something fun. If you like Twilight, that's my guilty pleasure is Twilight. I'll watch a Twilight movie. I've read the books like 4 times, and that's what I do when the world just puts me in a corner where I can't do it anymore. I'll go pick up a Twilight book or something. It's okay. Just do those things and don't forget to have fun with your life. That you're only here once and it's so short. So just have fun with it.
Oh, I love that. That it's true authenticity and just lighting your soul up and what makes you you. I think that is a beautiful way to end this amazing show. I could ask you 20 more questions, but I'm going to stop there. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart that you spent this time with us today and you shared and imparted all of these bits of wisdom. And for those that may be interested in learning more about you, where can they find you?
It's easy, and thank you for this time. It's an honor to be here. So go to drpbetterlife.com. Very easy. Like Dr. Pinkston, drpbetterlife.com. And there, the first page is the iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. Go to the YouTube because you can see and visualize. You were on the show. That is how we met, and I love it. And your show is there. Tell people and let's spread it. And so I answer all of my own emails if people want to reach out, and so just make it easy. I do have the business New Bloom NUBLOOM.com where I do medical work and work with people on the weight loss hormone. I'm getting older and I don't want to do it this way feature. So we'll do that too. But thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it so much.
Absolutely. And I will make sure that those links are in the show notes below this episode so people can find you. Again, Dr. Pinkston, thank you so very much. And I
Or
hope you have a wonderful, blessed day.
you as well. Thank you, dear.